everyone. This is Joe Riggio with Socially Joe, and we are on episode, I believe 25 is the big 25 right now, and what do you know, it's a quarter right now. So I won't get too much into that, but I am joined here today by my guest, STACEY MCKEE, which is with Hope Family Services, and she is our representative for the nonprofit this month. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to STACEY. Thank you for joining me. Tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit more about Hope Family at the beginning before we go into the questions.
Hi, Joe. Thank you very much for having me today. It's always a pleasure to be able to tell people about Hope. So Hope Family Services is Manatee County's only domestic violence emergency safe shelter. So we have a 35-bed shelter here in Manatee County and a 24-hour hotline. We've been in Manatee County for 40 years. In December of 2019, we celebrated our 40th birthday. So we have been around for a long time, and we've expanded our programs over the years to we're so much more now than a shelter. We also have all different kinds of programs that are set up to empower women to take control of their lives.
That's awesome. So, STACEY, how did you get involved? I know I want to ask you a little bit more about that. Is like, how did you become involved with Hope?
Okay, well, many years ago when I was in college, my major was women's studies, and one of the social responsibility projects that we had to do was organize a clothing drive. So, and this was, 2008. So I organized a clothing drive, and I looked up, organizations like and to give to women specifically. And I came across Hope, fell in love with the mission, and found ways to get involved with them, time and time again after I was done with college. And so, over the years, just volunteered in different capacities and supported them at different fundraising events. And then this opportunity came up to, I am the development director now, so I saw this opportunity come up. I jumped at it because I've just always wanted to be a part of what they do in the community.
That's wonderful. I love it. So where is, just so people know too, where is Hope branch or the Hope Foundation located, and what is its reach?
Well, the Hope Family Services serves all of Manatee County. So if it's a domestic violence service center, we're state certified. And so basically we cover anyone in Manatee County that is dealing with a domestic violence issue.
Nice. Okay. So I know you kind of went a little bit into it, but not too much. But tell us, and obviously listeners, what are the different programs individually that are offered by Hope that can, help these people?
We have so many great opportunities to help people if they come in, with a domestic violence issue. We have our biggest things that we offer is we have a 24-hour hotline. So people can get to us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's always somebody, a live person there to answer the phone. Our emergency safe shelter is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They can come in the middle of the night if they need to. So that is our biggest thing, because those are the things that really save lives. In addition to that, we have we have 2 lawyers on staff that do nothing but injunctions for protection, which are restraining orders. That's all they do all day. We have an economic empowerment team, and they work with the women who are basically in transition. They're getting out of an abusive relationship, and one of the main things in abuse is economic abuse. So these women have been cut off from family. They've a lot of them have stayed at home with their children, and they don't know how to do a budget. They don't know how to pay their bills. So we work with them and give them the skills and the resources to help them do that. We have advocacy here with counseling. We have children's groups. We have a primary prevention program where we would get into the schools and speak to teenagers about what healthy relationships are. So there's so many programs that are just designed to empower women to take back their lives. And they're all free. They're all at no charge to people that come to Hope.
That's what I was just going to ask. What's the cost, if anything, or
Yeah.
because obviously these programs have to be funded somehow. But
Hmm.
why are these just a little bit more into it? But why are these programs important? So
Well,
obviously
yeah.
you have them, but why are they so important? All these different facets that you have.
So, I mean, it's important if, it's a hard thing for a woman to leave a domestic violence situation. A lot of times it takes them 7 times to do it, and it's very scary. So, if they have access to a injunction for protection, they can get a restraining order. That just gives them another level of safety. If they have support from, from Hope, where they can help them, we can put them on a budget and put them on a plan, and teach them things that they've never been taught before, give them skills that they can actually use to empower themselves and take back their life. It's important because that's what it does. It gives women back their power, and it helps them make a better life for them and their children.
Okay. So has there been ever a situation that has touched you the most that has said, thank God I was here for this person?
Well, yes, actually, well, that it happens every day, but there's one that when I first started at Hope and was just kind of, and I've only been here, I guess it's been 9 months now, as an official employee. But I was working over at the shelter, and I had, the opportunity to sit with some of the women over there. And a lot of times, these women come over in the middle of the night and with just the clothing on their back, and they don't have anything else. And so I was sitting there, and we were talking, and she was talking about her plan, and I was asking about her support system, and she does not have one. And that really just humbled me because, I can pick up the phone and call my mom or call my best friend, and and I have support. But for a lot of the women that we serve, we are their support. We are all they have. And it really kind of made me think about the things that you take for granted, that a part of the abuse is isolation. They take them away from their friends and their families. They cut them off from money. And so knowing that, we have the power to help them get back their power, we have the resources to give them so that they can. It was just really humbling for me, and it really made me understand that I was in the right place, because I could help these women and these children move forward in a positive, safe way with their lives.
That's great. Now, I don't know, but I'm going to ask anyway. But you said that some of these situations, people try to cut that person off, like mentally and financially.
Hmm.
It, that sounds horrible. I mean, in your opinion, or anything like that, how would you feel if someone did that to you? Because I'm hearing that, and that makes me very sad. And I'm like, I cannot foresee being cut off from friends and family. It's just
Hmm.
no.
Well, it's very scary too, and it's one of the things that you hear often. And it's very frustrating for us to hear it. But when people ask, why didn't she just leave? The real question should be, why does he abuse her? But people ask, why doesn't she just leave? Well, it's very scary. If you've been isolated, and you don't have anybody to go back to, and you've been cut off from all of the funds and any kind of financial support. It's an awful feeling. I would imagine that, sometimes it's just easier, and sometimes they feel safer if they stay put. So it's a very hard line to navigate, because you're all alone, and you definitely feel all alone. Chances are, if you reach back out to your friends and your family, depending on the situation, but they would be there for you. But it's a scary thing. On top of everything else that's going on, it's a scary thing to broach.
Yeah, I can only imagine just being in that mindset. Um, well, now I like to coin this phrase now. I got it off a friend, but we call it BC before COVID now, as just as we used to say BC back in the olden days. Now it's BC
Yeah.
before COVID. before COVID, I know you guys are having a lot of events, and I actually know two friends, Heather Andrews, who's been on my show, and Lori Arendes, who's been on,
Mm-hmm.
who I'm going
Yeah.
to have on my show soon, and they had helped raise funds for you for a Halloween event. And I know I just talked to one of them this couple days ago, and it doesn't look it's going to happen that way, but I gave him some ideas to help maybe raise some funds for you. So we'll go into that different. But that was before COVID. That you guys were getting all this type of fundraising and all this other stuff. Now with COVID happening, how has this pandemic affected your clients and affected how you can service them?
Well, Heather and those guys are just fabulous, and we really appreciate all of their support they give to Hope. And yes, before COVID, we were out and about and just, just kind of dancing around town, letting people know we were here. And so first, I'll tell you how it affected our participants, because they are the most important. And when we first went on this, in the stay-at-home order first went into place, it was eerily quiet. It was kind of like, yikes, where is everybody? But everybody was so afraid. I mean, and then you add, abuse on top of that. You don't know what's going to happen or if you have a place to go. So as the orders started lifting and they started reopening the county a little bit more, the state a little bit more, we had an influx of calls, an influx of chats, and our shelter filled back up. And so what we'd seen, kind of analyzing it after the fact, is that, they just stayed put, and they were pretty much, trapped with their abuser because everything was so unknown. We didn't know what was going on, and they were, I guess you could say, more scared of COVID than they were of their abuser. So it was really it's a scary time, even for those who aren't being abused, but for those that are, it's just it's awful, because you have so much uncertainty, and you really do feel alone. So it's we're kind of like in limbo right now. This, we're not quite locked down, we're not quite open all the way. We have to we put lots of protocols into place to make sure that our shelter's clean, and we do health checks as the residents come in, and as they leave, and things like that. We're doing everything that we can to keep them safe, and and we still have a shelter full of people. So it's we have to stay up and running. We've been running the entire time. We've never closed down our 24-hour hotline or our shelter. So that kind of brings us to how we make money for that, right? Because we can't go out and we can't fundraise anymore. We had a big event that we do every year in May. We had to cancel it because it's just not safe to do anything right now. What I will say is the donor base that we had, and the community support that we have received during COVID has been phenomenal. The support that, if people read our newsletter and, they see something that we're going on Facebook, we did a back to school drive. The amount of school supplies that we got for the kids that are in our programs it was amazing. So the community support has just been phenomenal. We are going to be doing a virtual event in October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So stay tuned on our Facebook page and our website for that. It's going to be like a virtual run. So we want to get people moving and get families moving, and just kind of speak to the community during the entire month of October about what domestic violence is, how you can keep your eyes on it, and how to report it, and give hope resources to those that might need it. That was a really long answer for that question.
No, but it's good. I want you to give as much information as you